Valorant are about to drop the Mystbloom 2.0 bundle, and there are two things everyone is talking about. The Vandal, which is hit or miss for some people, and then of course the Fan Blade, which is absolutely the selling point for this whole collection, so let's take a look at it all. For a quick rundown, Mystbloom 2.0 is going to include a Ghost, Ares, Outlaw, Vandal, and Knife, with the release date being at the end of this week. The main gun I'm sure everyone wants to see is the Vandal, so we'll jump straight into that first. As far as the design goes, the barrel of the gun feels a little short to me, but I do still like the overall model. I'm a tiny bit thrown off by the flower growing out on the side, especially on the ADS, but I do ultimately see the vision and I do like the texture on the gun there. I've seen some comparisons to Divergence, and rightfully so. The skins do have a similar vibe, but I think the sound design for Mystbloom is where it takes the lead, as they did an incredible job on the shooting sound. They also added this really peaceful tune to the inspect animation, and it's interesting to me that Valorant seem to be incorporating little musical pieces into their skins like this more often now. The other animations seem to be default, and I think it's mostly the VFX, especially on the finisher, that brings this skin all together, but I'll touch on that more later. As far as the other guns go, the weapon selection is going to be a little bit rough. I did see some people complaining about an Ares rather than say a Guardian for example, and then to be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit sick of Outlaw skins. Like, I know they have to play catch up since it's a new weapon, but it feels like every other bundle these days has an Outlaw in it. Then for the pistol skin, it's just going to be a Ghost, which does have a pretty unique shooting sound, and that might not be for everyone. The knife is probably the most exciting part of this bundle, but just before we get to that, here are all of the variants. I'm still not a fan of the orange compared to the other three, but they did stay true to the original Mystbloom collection. Now, here's a look at the finisher, which will change to match each variant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe much if anything has changed from the 1.0 bundle. It's still a really nice effect with the flowers spreading all over the ground, and visually it is one of the prettier finishes in the entire game. Finally, that brings us to the highlight of this bundle, the Mystbloom Fan Blade. Compared to the other fans in Valorant, visually it looks the most similar to Ignite, but it's actually the same type of knife as Cyrax. Since they're both fan blades, this means they'll remain spread in your hand by default. They also share equip animations, and despite the left click swings looking the same, I do like how fluid the return animations look on Mystbloom. These two do have separate right click and inspect animations thankfully, and once again the inspect is going to play some peaceful music, just like the Vandal. I think the only gripe I have with the fan is how flat and two-dimensional the model feels at times. Obviously it's meant to just be made of flower petals, so it sort of makes sense. I just don't love how that looks. Price wise, this is an exclusive tier collection, so it should cost 8,700 Valorant points, just like the original Mystbloom bundle. That would make it 2,175 Valorant points per gun and 4,350 Valorant points for the knife. However, the Cyrax knife was more expensive individually at 5,350 Valorant points. So they could end up upcharging this one, and I'll just update the pinned comment with the final correct values when the skins release later this week. So is Mystbloom 2.0 worth it? Obviously, if you love the original skin line and now you have a Vandal, you're a Vandal player, this is a perfect bundle for you. But to be honest, I don't think the Ghost, Ares or Outlaw are that crazy. The fan is pretty nice, but would be so expensive to buy on its own, and overall this bundle is probably a skip for a fair few people. Even I'm on the fence about buying it and might only end up getting the Vandal. Let me know what, if anything, you're planning on picking up from this bundle in the comments.